Picture this. One of the world's most addictive social media platforms, TikTok, teetering on the brink of a total shutdown in the United States due to national security worries. That's the high-stakes saga we're diving into today. And it's got everyone from teens to policymakers on edge. But here's where it gets controversial. What if the solution involves handing over control to a group with deep ties to a former president? Stick around, because this deal could reshape how millions get their news and entertainment online. In a bold move from the White House, President Donald Trump recently inked an executive order aimed at keeping TikTok alive in America while tackling those pressing security issues outlined in federal law. To clarify for newcomers, an executive order is a directive from the president that carries the force of law, allowing him to act swiftly on matters of national importance, without needing congressional approval every time. This isn't Trump's first rodeo with TikTok. He's issued similar orders before to give the app breathing room as negotiations dragged on. Let's rewind a bit. Last year, President Joe Biden put his signature on legislation that essentially demanded China's ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, divest its U.S. assets to an American entity by early this year, or face a nationwide ban. The goal? To sever any potential links that could compromise U.S. data security. Trump, however, has been the one repeatedly extending lifelines, buying time for his team to hammer out a sale agreement. Details of the proposed deal are still shrouded in mystery, but Trump announced on Thursday that Chinese leader Xi Jinping has given the green light to proceed. That said, the Chinese embassy in Washington hasn't yet confirmed this through official channels when asked by reporters. The executive order itself serves as Trump's stamp of approval, declaring that the deal adequately addresses the law's security requirements. It also grants all involved parties an extra 120 days to iron out the final terms and avoid the ban's enforcement. Trump highlighted during the signing event that young folks were particularly eager for this outcome, noting how vital TikTok has become for them. And he's right. Any shakeup to this viral video giant could profoundly alter the way Americans, especially the younger generation, access and share information digitally. According to a fresh Pew Research Center report released just this week, a staggering 43% of U.S. adults under 30 turn to TikTok for news regularly, outpacing other platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. For context, this means millions of users rely on short, snappy videos for everything, from breaking headlines to trending challenges, making TikTok a powerhouse in shaping public discourse. When pressed at the ceremony, Trump joked that he'd love to turn the American-owned TikTok into a 100% MAGA haven if he could. But he assured everyone that all viewpoints and policies would be handled fairly. Vice President J.D. Vance chimed in, emphasizing that the agreement ensures U.S. investors will oversee the algorithm, that intricate set of rules and math that decides what videos pop up in your feed. He promised more disclosures about the deal in the weeks ahead. Now, on to the juicy part. Who's really calling the shots in this new TikTok setup? From what's been shared by the White House, the app will be restructured as a fresh, U.S.-based joint venture, backed by a team of American investors, including tech giant Oracle and the investment firm Silver Lake Partners. While the fine print isn't fully set, this investor group is slated to hold about an 80% controlling interest. ByteDance, the Chinese originator, would retain a minority stake of under 20%, which is the maximum allowed for foreign owners under the deal. The board of directors will be dominated by U.S. investors, with ByteDance getting just one representative, and crucially, that person won't have a say in any security matters. But here's the part most people miss, and it's sparking heated debates. Many of these new owners have strong business or political connections to Trump. Take Oracle's co-founder, Larry Ellison, who's still deeply involved as chairman and chief technology officer despite stepping down as CEO over a decade ago. At 81, Ellison is positioning himself as a major behind-the-scenes influencer in media, having recently bankrolled his son's role in Skydance's merger with Paramount. Then there's Rupert Murdoch, the media mogul with a history of conservative leanings, and even Dell founder Michael Dell as an investor. Critics are already questioning if this means political agendas could seep into the platform's operations. David Green, Director of Civil Liberties at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, put it bluntly. Users might now see the editorial policies of the people who now have control of the company. He wonders aloud whether criticism of Trump or his allies will be treated equally, or if it won't be 100% MAGA, but still tilted in certain directions. This raises big questions about free speech and fairness on a platform that's a daily habit for so many. Shifting gears to the tech side, the algorithm, that mysterious engine powering TikTok's endless scroll of videos, has been at the heart of the security spat. China once insisted it must stay under their jurisdiction, but U.S. law, backed by both parties in Congress, requires a clean break from ByteDance for any sale. Officials have warned that the algorithm could be tampered with by Chinese authorities, though no concrete proof of actual interference has ever surfaced. Under the new order, a licensed version of ByteDance's algorithm will be used, but it'll be retrained exclusively with U.S. data to power the American app. The joint venture will manage and oversee the code, along with all content moderation choices, supposedly eliminating any risk of foreign meddling. Vance summed it up by saying the aim is to let Americans enjoy TikTok with greater trust, addressing those fears without shutting it down. Yet, this leaves us wondering, will the U.S. version feel different from what global users know? Changes to a platform's core experience can drive users away, as we saw with Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter, now X, 3 years ago. Musk's bold moves, rebranding, loosening moderation, and adding premium perks sparked immediate uproar. In contrast, subtle tweaks from feeding new data into TikTok's algorithm might go unnoticed by most. But analyst Jasmine Enberg from eMarketer cautions that social media thrives on its community vibe as much as its tech. How users adapt to new ownership and a potentially altered app remains an open question, she notes, hinting at possible cultural shifts. And this is the part that could really divide opinions. What drove China to agree to this? Beijing initially slammed the divestment demand as robbery, but as U.S.-China trade tensions escalated, their stance softened. Experts like Sun Yoon from the Stimson Center suggest it's about keeping trade talks alive and avoiding escalations that could harm broader relations. TikTok alone doesn't outweigh the value of stable U.S.-China ties, she explains. Meanwhile, Syracuse University's Dimitar Georgiev argues China's priorities lie in gaining access to U.S. tech and know-how. Think semiconductors, AI, and advanced manufacturing to boost their own independence. TikTok is just a consumer app losing its edge, he says, while tech competition is the real battlefield. So there you have it, a deal that's meant to save TikTok while safeguarding American interests, but one rife with potential for bias, change, and geopolitical maneuvering. Is this a win for free enterprise and national security, or a slippery slope toward censored content and political favoritism? Do you think the new owners will keep things balanced, or are we seeing the dawn of a more partisan platform? And what about China's motivations? Is this genuine compromise or a strategic play for bigger gains? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Agree, disagree, or share your own take on how this might affect your scrolling habits.